It's time for the final race of the weekend for the F3 Cup. This is the longer of the races, 20 minutes as opposed to the two 50-minuters that we have had so far. It lines up with Darryl Jones in pole position, alongside him Shane Kelly. They finished the first two places in the earlier race that we had today. Row 2, Robbie Watts and George Lyne. And row 3, Jacopo Sebastiani and Stuart Wiltshire. The fourth row, Daniel Tapanos and Mark Harrison. The fifth row is Malcolm Scott and Jeffrey Hoodless. We are sadly without Tony Bishop. We are also without Mark Harrison. Are we? No, we are with Harrison. I think it's Hoodless is out of position. Tony Bishop is there as they go off on their green flag formation lap. And earlier on we were treated to an excellent race. Darryl Jones it was who took the victory, having got the jump earlier on, and despite a late challenge from Shane Kelly, that wasn't an awful lot Kelly could quite do to close down on him. This longer race starts to move into the territory of mini-endurance, particularly if we don't have a safety car intervention, then the physical strain on the drivers will start to have a little bit of a bearing. There is the Masters class car of Jeff running in the Cup class, which is for cars that were built in the race between January 2005 and the Lara F305 and Lara F308 and various derivations thereof. The three cars always blindingly fast around this Brands Hatch Indy circuit, with laps disappearing very, very quickly. In terms of the championship, well, Shane Kelly romped clear in the opening event of the year at Donington Park. He has been pegged back a little bit this weekend with some great performances by Darryl Jones, but nonetheless Shane Kelly has featured in the roster, on the roster in both of the preceding races. Already to the end of this green flag lap, and then the race very shortly be getting underway. Thank you very much for joining us on this live race day from Brands Hatch, from Race Television, this Motorsport Vision race meeting from Ben Evans up here in the commentary box, Michelle Livings down in the pit lane and on podium duties. Everybody just comes into position now. Wait for the revs to rise, which they do. The red lights are about to come on. The noise builds and away we go. Who gets the jump from line? It's a very good start from Darryl Jones from pole position. Also well away is George Lyne, and it's Lyne who gets the jump. In fact, over Robbie Watts up into third position. They run down through Paddock Hill Bend. So it's Darryl Jones who leads, Shane Kelly second, Lyne is third, Watts is in fourth, Jacopo Sebastiani up into fifth. But watch for the progress of Tony Bishop. That is going to be worth tracking over the course of the certainly early stage of the race, as Bishop bottled up behind Stuart Wiltshire, and unlike the action that we saw earlier on, everybody cleaning off line, nobody getting bogged down. So that already releases Shane Kelly to get onto terms. I say nobody cleaning off line. Daniel Tapanos, in fact, was left stranded, so he gets pushed clear just as the leaders come past. And this time around, Darryl Jones has really got his work cut out, because he's got Shane Kelly looming very large on his tail. And Kelly asking all the right questions in the early stages. They've got George Lyne looking to join them as well. And what Lyne will be hoping for is that Kelly and Jones start to battle with each other, and as they battle with each other, it's going to slow the rest of the pack down and potentially bring he and Robbie Watts into the mix. For now, though, Kelly trying to run in that turbulent air behind Darryl Jones. Jones, though, able to pick and choose his own line. That's the leader's prerogative as they run through the late afternoon sunshine. It's a beautiful May afternoon here at Brands Hatch. Head towards the braking zone at Paddock Hill Bend. These cars braking desperately late. They've got so much grip available to them for arriving at Druids. Swing around the hairpin, then down to the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Through Graham Hill Bend, and the short sprint along the Cooper Straight on towards Surtees. Everybody else holding station behind. There's Robbie Watts in fourth place. Chase down George Lyne. As Once again, Kelly appreciably close to Darryl Jones. Is he going to be close enough to challenge on this occasion? He might well be, because he's right underneath the rear wing of Jones as the pair of them come across the start and finish line, and Kelly goes for that wide line into Paddock Hill Bend. He tries to force the move and then looks to bring the car down to a tighter apex, but Jones sticking to the racing line makes it difficult for Kelly, who then launches the inside line at Druids. Darryl Jones has to give Shane Kelly racing room. That's a lovely move from Kelly, who takes the lead of the race. Very, very brave going into Druids, and also very astute driving from Jones to avoid the collision. But the time that cost Darryl Jones has been enough already to give Shane Kelly a little bit of a jump over the rest of the pack as they swing through Surtees. George Line also under pressure from Robbie Watts, and Robbie Watts is going to be able to make the move here on line as they run along the Brabham Straight. The blue car of Watts gets in front of the white and red entry of George Line, and Watts goes into third position. Robbie, another driver who knows this Bransfield circuit inside out. There's Jacopo Sebastiani as well, looking to join in fifth position. This is what happens when the leading group battle. The extra tenth of a second or so of a lap that cost them brings others into the mix. George Line to most on the podium. What can he do? About Shane Kelly was a second clear last time through of the race leader Darryl Jones. Darryl Jones immediately being pressurised by Robbie Watts, has absolutely got the bit between his teeth this time round, and Watts is going to be close enough to challenge Jones, maybe into Paddock Hill Bend. Pair of them run in tandem, swing down through Paddock Hill Bend and then climb through the hairpin at Druids. It's a bit of a gap back to the next group of cars, and it's Harrison under pressure and now passed by Stuart Wiltshire and possibly passed as well by Tony Bishop. Wiltshire and Bishop both have been glad to clear that entry of Mark Harrison, and now sets them off in pursuit of some of the cars they'd have wanted to run with earlier on, but with the retirement from the earlier race from Tony Bishop, the poor start in the earlier race from Stuart Wiltshire meant that they were relatively speaking out of position, and now have to fly in formation to see what they can do about that leading group. Run down through Paddock. It's the leaders really putting a lap on Jeffrey Hoodless, and the leading quintet not really covered by that much ground. In fact, the same goes for the group to and including Wiltshire and Bishop. It's only about 5.5 seconds that covers those 7 cars. In particular, the battle for second, getting particularly close once more. Darryl Jones just doesn't seem to have the pace underneath him in this third and final race of the weekend that he did in comparison to the earlier ones, and therefore Robbie Watts able to put a lot of pressure on him. But of course, depends what Darryl Jones has done with his setup, depends how he's set up the tyre pressures. It could well be that he has decided to get the car working for the second half of the race, and he'll possibly look to kick on a little bit then. Meanwhile, the progress of Wiltshire and Bishop is such that they're half a second a lap quicker than Jacopo Sebastiani in 5th position, so we're soon going to have a 6-car train doing battle for second place. A race leader Shane Kelly is long gone. Then we've got Darryl Jones in second, Robbie Watts in 3rd place. 4th place, George Line. In 5th is Jacopo Sebastiani, 6th Stuart Wiltshire, and 7th Tony Bishop. That leading gaggle of cars climbing up towards Druids. Jacopo Sebastiani is about to find his mirrors getting very, very full. Wiltshire and Bishop, as we rather thought they might, deciding not to engage in battle just yet, seeing how quickly they can get up to the leading group, because Shane Kelly's not really pulled the pin and detonated the field just yet. Of course, we're in the relatively early stage of the race, 13 minutes left on the clock. Nobody quite close enough to challenge on this occasion. Robbie Watts getting caught in that eternal Formula 3 challenge, which is trying to drive through the turbulent air of the car in front and being unable to do so. Same possibly for George Line in 4th place, where he's just slipping adrift to the fight for second. Here come Wiltshire and Bishop. Closing up. It's already another lap gets reeled off. Shane Kelly's lead now 1.7 seconds, and he's just set the fast lap of the race. He's away from Darryl Jones. Sebastiani next along, Stuart Wiltshire, and Tony Bishop, who is next in the queue. The time on the screen possibly suggesting otherwise. Already Wiltshire getting onto terms with Jacopo Sebastiani. Then it is Tony Bishop in pursuit, in line behind him. This pair of them run downhill. Sebastiani just dropping back from George Line as well. That's going to make Sebastiani a little bit more vulnerable to challenge from Wiltshire. Of course, Wiltshire, he's just beginning to start to get caught in that turbulent weight from the car in front. Something that Robbie Watts has been doing for lap upon lap and seems reasonably comfortable in so doing, despite the issues that he's got with his wrist. We've also got Malcolm Scott out on track, and he's running with Daniel Tapanos. Tapanos trying to recover ground after his problems at the start, so you can disregard the number 5 car in terms of the race overall, but Tapanos just out to have a lot of fun and enjoy himself. Malcolm Scott, a stalwart of Formula 4 racing, of monoposto racing, now in the F3 Cup. Fight for second place, swings through Surtees once more, just at about half race distance, so there is still the opportunity for this to all change around, but at the moment the race largely unfolding, I would suggest, as the drivers would have wanted it to, which is they're able to run their own race, they're able to play to their car's advantages. Shane Kelly leads it. Second place, Darryl Jones. Third is Robbie Watts. Fourth place is George Line. Fifth place, Jacopo Sebastiani. Sixth, Stuart Wiltshire. Seventh, Tony Bishop. Eighth is Mark Harrison. Ninth place is Malcolm Scott. And then 10th place, Jeffrey Hoodless, who is also to the fore of the Masters class. There is Stuart Wiltshire now. He is right up with Jacopo Sebastiani, and now Sebastiani really about to get some questions asked of him. This has been a 3 or 4 lap capture from Stuart Wiltshire. It was always inevitable that he was going to catch Sebastiani. Now, can he find a way past him? The answer is not a Paddock Hill bend this time around. Of course, that's given Sebastiani the hurry up a little bit to get onto terms with George Line, which is what we were talking about at the top of the race, which is that the physical exertion of driving these F3 Cup cars, particularly on a track as busy as the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, means that through the course of the race, driver fatigue will potentially start to be an issue. That's where we'll start to see the odd mistake or two being made. That's possibly why Sebastiani is suddenly a bit closer to the line than he was previously. Here's the fight for second place. Darryl Jones ahead of Robbie Watts. And Robbie, as he has done throughout all of the preceding 15 or so laps, is right there in pursuit of Darryl Jones, but he just cannot find a way past him. Even though he is able to drive through the turbulent air, the braking distances of these cars are so short that unless you're really completely alongside before the corner, it's very hard to craft the overtaking manoeuvre. That's exactly what Robbie Watts is finding. Again, he is a car and a half length back from Darryl Jones coming through the apex of clearways, but that is going to just be a little bit too much for Watts to overhaul on this occasion. Down through Paddock Hill Bend, all he can do is just start to apply the pressure. They're now well clear of the fight for 4th position, which has become a 4-car train. About to exit Druids now. There you see it. George Line has got Jacopo Sebastiani, Stuart Wiltshire and Tony Bishop all queued up behind him. Now, at what point does Tony Bishop start to begin to make his move? He worked with Stuart Wiltshire to close up to Jacopo Sebastiani. You'll now be thinking, well, Stuart, you've had a couple of laps to try and overhaul Jacopo. You haven't really been able to do anything about him. So now maybe he will look to challenge, but he's not going to be close enough to challenge Stuart Wiltshire this time around into Paddock Hill Bend. Swing down through Paddock. Now Wiltshire forces the defensive move from Sebastiani. This is more like it for Stuart Wiltshire, except that as he looked to the outside, it gave Tony Bishop the hint of an opening to the inside line. Bishop, however, thought better of it. Run the train, swinging left, then right around, really the never-ending right-hander at Clearways and Clark Curve. This has been a good performance though from Jacopo Sebastiani in 5th place. He has kept in touch with George Line. He's also not put a wheel wrong, driven very consistently with 6.5 minutes remaining. Hold on, then that is going to be a very solid finish for him. Meanwhile, Tony Bishop thought about pulling the pin into Druids, couldn't make it through. As here is our race leader, Shane Kelly. Kelly just 2.5 seconds clear of Darryl Jones, but that's all he needs. He doesn't need to push the car any harder. Darryl Jones also just beginning to move clear of Robbie Watts. Finally, you just wonder whether or not Robbie is beginning to experience a little bit of graining with his front tyres, possibly as a result of having spent so long in the turbulent air from the car in front. Through Druids, Robbie Watts no closer to Darryl Jones. Darryl Jones actually starting to come back now at Shane Kelly. That last lap for Darryl Jones was a second quicker than Kelly's preceding tour. Shane just managing his tyres, or whether or not there is a possibility that Darryl Jones is going to be able to fight to challenge for the victory. We will find out. We're almost at 3/4 race distance as Kelly flashes through from Jones and then Robbie Watts. Next group of cars, Stuart Wiltshire in the middle of it, into Paddock Hill Bend, and Jacopo Sebastiani, who was looking to try and find a way past George Line, couldn't quite do it. And Sebastiani defends from Wiltshire. Wiltshire looks to the outside of Druids. Now, has he got the traction here, Stuart Wiltshire? Sebastiani runs him out wide, and Wiltshire goes off onto the grass and rejoins, and he loses out to Tony Bishop. It's a particularly robust defence from Jacopo Sebastiani. Stuart Wiltshire has lost out enormously. Now we've got the aggression of Tony Bishop looking to try and join in that fight. Still for 5th place. Fight for 2nd, a little bit closer again, mainly because Shane Kelly has just pulled the pin once more, set the fastest lap of the race, made it absolutely clear to Darryl Jones that if he gets to within a couple of seconds of him, then it will be the work of a moment to re-extend that advantage. They swing through the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend, quick sprint along the Cooper Straight. And into Clearways and Clark Curve. Jones and Watts, as they have been throughout much of the race, running in tandem. But this is a lot closer than Robbie Watts has been on any previous occasion, and therefore Watts looks to challenge into Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to try the high line. Shane Kelly comes out of the paddock. What about the battle going on in 2nd place? Watts looked high, he couldn't find a way through. He looks slightly to the outside of Druids, and again, there's no way through. Darryl Jones has just got the car in all the right places at all the right times, much to the eternal frustration of Robbie Watts. They are beginning to rapidly run out of laps here. As the clock ticks onwards, it is 3 minutes or so remaining as Shane Kelly crosses the line. Then the battle for 2nd place, here it comes. What about the fight for 4th? Tony Bishop right onto terms with Jacopo Sebastiani. It's given George Line the opportunity to make good a little bit of an escape in 4th place. Sebastiani and Bishop then running nose to tail as they swoop down through Paddock Hill Bend. We have got running just behind them as well Stuart Wiltshire as they punch through it, and Bishop almost tries to force his way to the inside of Jacopo Sebastiani. Doesn't quite work out. Around Graham Hill Bend, then we've got the sprint along the Cooper Straight. Swing left, then right at Surtees. Left for Sebastiani, then almost never-ending right-hander. Omicron car of Sebastiani, that advantage over Tony Bishop in the fight for 5th position. And now just a couple of minutes left in the race. They're probably going to have time for 3 more laps. Depends on the track position of Shane Kelly, also depends on the point the checkered flag gets shown. Because we all are always up against curfew here at Brands Hatch on particularly a Sunday, very strictly enforced, and therefore other action to get in. Meanwhile, it's very, very close for 2nd and 3rd place as Darryl Jones, Robbie Watts went either side of Jeffrey Hoodless as they came onto the Brabham Straight. But it still is not advantage Robbie Watts. There's seemingly nothing that Watts can do to find a way around Darryl Jones, who is just managing to have his car exactly where it needs it to be on each and every occasion. It's allowed Shane Kelly to romp off actually to a fairly comfortable lead now, almost 5 seconds for Kelly. It's been a combination of elevation and pace for Kelly. It's also been a combination of the intensity of the fight going on for 2nd and 3rd position. It still continues. Robbie Watts again looks to try and line up the move on Jones, and this time Jones really has to take defensive action to Paddock Hill Bend. Robbie Watts has the luxury therefore of moving out to the high line, but it doesn't reward him. They run uphill and through Druids. Just a handful of seconds left in the race. Might be the last lap, not sure. Looking at the gantry, timing-wise, we should be able to squeeze another one from this. It just really depends on how concerned everybody is with us getting up to curfew. Here comes Shane Kelly across the start finish line, so we are going to squeeze one further tour of the circuit out of the race. And it gives one more opportunity for Robbie Watts to try and challenge, but he can't do it. Shane Kelly, well, he's been winless so far this weekend, but it looks like he is going to finish the weekend on a high in the F3 Cup here at Brands Hatch. As he runs along the Cooper Straight for the final time of asking. It's been a beautifully controlled race, this from Kelly. He made his move early on. He withstood the pressure, and the University of Wolverhampton racing team are about to be rewarded with their 4th victory of the season as Shane Kelly accelerates along the Brabham Straight. The checker flag goes out and he wins the 3rd and final race of the weekend in the F3 Cup. 2nd place after a race-long pressure, Darryl Jones, and 3rd place goes to Robbie Watts. Holding on to 4th position is George Lyne. 5th goes Jacopo Sebastiani, 6th to Tony Bishop, and Stuart Wiltshire, unfortunately, into trouble on the last lap, isn't going to take 7th place. So that is going to be the reward of Mark Harrison. Absolute delight there for Shane Kelly, and rightly so. So very, very happy Shane Kelly. And he celebrates in the cockpit, heading around to Parc Ferme. Euphoria for Shane Kelly. Beautifully judged race. Well, it's still early stages in the F3 Cup season for Shane Kelly, and there is plenty more racing for him to come, but he has had not quite the perfect weekend, but he has been successively better in each and every race and has been rewarded with victory. So Shane Kelly is our race winner. 2nd place for Darryl Jones. 3rd goes the way of Robbie Watts after that titanic scrap, and Darryl Jones driving supremely well to hold on to second under really very sustained pressure. So we'll very shortly have the drivers and cars down to the podium, and Michelle Livings, they've just got the necessities of post-race scrutineering to look forward to. Thank you very much, though, for joining us on this live race day from Brands Hatch. Hope that you've enjoyed the coverage, and don't forget that you'll be able to visit the Race Television website for all the footage to enjoy at your leisure from an excellent day's racing. And if you like what you see, then do get in touch and tell us, and we'll hope to repeat the exercise again very soon. So the first driver we're going to see on the podium is the Snowco Driver of the Day award, and that is going to be Jacopo Spastiani. Spastiani, super drive, particularly in that second race, a very well defended 5th place. So he smiles on the podium. Picks up his Driver of the Day award. Jeffrey Hoodless, our Masters class winner, to the top step of the rostrum. And then our top 3 in the race overall. So 3rd place for Robbie Watts. A really good drive from Robbie. He receives his trophy. Runner-up, a great drive from Darryl Jones, and really a super weekend as well for Jones. And our race winner in the concluding race of the F3 Cup for this weekend is Shane Kelly. Congratulations to Shane. We will be hearing from our race winners on the podium in just a moment's time, which means it's time for me, Ben Evans, to say thank you very much for joining me this afternoon here at Brands Hatch, and we'll hand down to Michelle Livings when the ceremonies have been completed, who will be able to talk to our winning drivers.
So we're here on the podium for our last race here on RaceTV. What a fine looking podium this is as well. Who's this little guy? Hello?
Say hello.
I'm Rodrigo.
You're Rodrigo? Wow, and well done. That's a nice trophy. He's very proud. You got driver of the weekend?
Yes, apparently so.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's only at this last of the 6 races we've had so far did things come together. We've been a bit unlucky in Donington, and we had a big shunt, but we've fixed it all, and now it's starting to work again. So looking forward to the rest of the season.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done. Let's move on. Hello, sir. What's the trophy that you're holding?
Masters trophy. First in the Masters class.
Nice.
Very good. Thank you. Need a bit more competition, but it's very good.
Brilliant, thank you. And we have to come to these 2 fellas here now. I don't know where our number 3's gone. I think he's had enough. He's decided to leave. But I have to say, Darryl, first of all, you obviously had 2 solid wins this weekend, which you must be pleased with. Obviously, this man here, picture at the post for the last one.
Yeah, 2 wins is a bonus really, and second place he was too quick for us today really. Managed to hold Robbie off, but it was a good race, fair race. Excellent, really enjoyed it.
Congratulations. Yeah, Robbie's actually, he's headed off. It's been a long day, but we do have Shane up here. You must be really pleased. Victory was yours in the end.
Yes, over the moon. We know we had a better chance than P2. We didn't make it easy for ourselves through the weekend, but yeah, over the moon for the students and the Wolverhampton University of really behind it all and all the sponsors but. We got our heads down and just went for it. The tyres started going at the end, but we just kept pushing and pushing. And again, it's a 20-minute race, so there's a bit more endurance there. But I'm over the moon. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well done, congratulations. And that is it from the podium and indeed from Brands Hatch this weekend, the Brands Hatch Indy. I hope you've enjoyed all our live coverage that we've had for you on RaceTV. Now, although this signals the end of the live coverage, you can catch up on all the day's coverage, which will be stored online. So all you have to do is go to the website www.race.tv and you'll find all the archive footage there from today and other racing throughout the year as well. Also, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at Race Television. We'll keep you up to date with everything that we're doing. But until next time, from Brands Hatch, it's goodbye.